everyone, welcome back to the Caprine Cottage Knitting Podcast. My name is Anne and today I'm joining you from a very rainy day in my studio in upstate New York. Hello! So it's been, I feel like I say this every time I do a regular podcast episode, but it's been a while. I can't seem to find the right balance. I'm definitely doing one a month, but somehow things get missed. But then also I feel like if I do them more frequently, there's not enough stuff. So I don't know. I can't quite figure it out, but I have a few finished objects. I have a bunch of whips. I have a plan that's almost started. Yeah, I don't know. So I hope you're interested in that. You can stick around and see what I have been knitting on. You saw last week that I also sewed a dress, so if you're interested in seeing about that and you miss it, last week's video is all about sewing the zero waist gather dress. And I would just here at the beginning like to extend a big thank you to those of you who have contributed to my Ko-Fi or have bought a pattern off of my Ravelry wish list. It's like there's nothing left on there, and so now I have to just get knitting, and I appreciate you guys so much for contributing those things. And yeah, I think that's all the business I'll talk about up front. And then if you stay to the end, we'll talk a little bit more about that kind of stuff. So we'll just jump into it and start with finished objects. I have two, and one of them you've never even seen. I finished it really, really quickly. Yeah, so the first one you've seen, I'll show it to you now. And this is done. So this is the Tarra Shawl by Gudrun Johnston, and this is my second one. So if you've been here for any amount of time, yeah, you know I'm making 3 of these, and so I finished the second one actually quite a while ago, but it wasn't done in time for the last podcast. You saw it right near the end of its completion, and yeah, then it's just been a while. So it's an assortment of Jamison's of Shetland colors, Jamison and Smith colors, and then this main blue is a mystery color that I bought secondhand, but she's done. So you also will have seen a sneak peek of this in the reel I posted of styling my dress last week. So yeah, I'm really excited. I have purchased and have all of the colors for Tarra number 3, which is going to be the sky version. I'm just not sure when I'm going to cast that on. I guess I'm going to grab the colors really fast. They're right over there, and I'll just show you to the colors I decided on. Okay, I'm back. So last time we talked, I was saying that I had to order some colors to achieve what I want. I ordered some stuff from the Woolly Thistle, and I think I have a plan. I'm just not sure when I'm going to cast this on. So here's the colors, so you can see them. I ended up going with this blue and this purple. These were the 2 colors that I was trying to decide on, and they are both from J&S, and the purple is FC21 and the blue is FC61. So I'm pretty excited for this. But yeah, I just have a lot on my plate knitting wise. I feel like I have so many things half done, and I don't think I'm going to cast this on just yet, but never say never. So I just thought I would update you on the Tarra Shawl progress. And I might have said color names in the last one, but if there's a color you see in this basket that you're just super curious about, just ask me. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more. You'll see. So the next thing I have to show you, you haven't even seen, and this is the Isla Shawl, Shawlette by Bichet Bouche. And this pattern was just released, and Morgan of Knitting Nellie is hosting a knit along, and that knit along goes until the 28th of April. So if you are interested in making one of these and you want to join the KAL, you still have time to do so. I just finished this incredibly quickly. It's a very fast project. It's color work, but it's mosaic color work knitting, so you only use one color at a time. So if you're nervous about yarn management, you've never done color work knitting, I think that you might enjoy this. Both of these projects, the Tarra Shawl too. Yeah, it was really fun to knit. It was easy to make. The instructions were very easy to follow. I really like the way that the designer, there's like many options of how to follow the directions. There's charted instructions, there's written instructions, there's all different things. So I think it'll be great for people of all different knitting skill levels. I will say a couple things about it. The first being that you switch colors along this edge, and I ended up using a spit splicing technique that I discovered through making Tarra from Gudrun Johnston. And so I will make sure a link below is her video, spit splicing. And it works really well with 2-ply yarn. I use it like a lot now, and it makes for no ends to weave in, which I think is really nice. Yeah, and so it's like if you're switching colors along an edge, I think it's a great way of not having the wonkiness that can come with ends, and you'll conserve yarn too because you're not leaving a tail and then cutting it off. For this project, I used, I'm gonna say scraps, but I did use one brand new ball of JNS for the main color, and I had just enough. So the pattern calls for 30 grams of the main color, and obviously a ball is 25. It's because Bichet Bouche, their yarn comes in 50-gram balls, but I didn't want to buy yarn for this project, so I was just using stash, and I had an extra ball of this color that is my new obsession. And so here, I'll hold this real close so you can see that color real nicely. And so this like pale blue looking color is the same that's going to be the main color of my third Tarra. And that's this here, I have one. And it is 1280 by JNS, and I'm obsessed with this color. It's like, it reads blue, but it's green and pink and gray all together. I think it's so beautiful. And it reminded me so much of the main color of Bichet Bouche that they used for the sample one. And then I had just scraps left over. These are actually left over from my lower low sweater, and it's Iset and White of Jameson Spindrift, and Poppy is the red. If you're interested in replicating those colors, there's always more on Ravelry. My one, like, I don't want to say it's anything bad because I feel like it's a me issue, but I had to block this curved like this to make my outside edges lie properly. And so it uses a stretchy bind off technique along this like the point and the curved edge, which I don't know if it's supposed to be curved. I've seen other people able to block theirs like a true triangle shawl and block it like where the top edge is flat. But mine, if I did that, you could even see as I'm holding it how that wants to ripple. And I did see someone post something about that you need to make this edge very loose, which apparently I didn't see that until after I was done, and I didn't do it like intuitively. So I don't know, I guess. I think this actually is super cute because, you know, your neck is round. And so when you put it on, it's gonna lay very flat with that curved edge. Like this point, I made sure that this point was very square. Or if you want to wear it the other way, but you won't be able to see the point there. And so it just comes right around and you can tie it. But I'm not totally sure that that was the intent. Like if that's how the pattern is meant to be. It works fine for me. I don't care. I'm happy with it. But just something to keep in mind if you want it to be a triangle shawl. You think you have to keep this loose. And then I don't know if I would say no stretchy bind off, or I don't know. It's also, we're interacting here the difference between garter stitch and stockinette, and maybe that's part of it too. I'm not the most technical knitter, so yeah, I don't know. That's just my only feedback on this pattern. I think that I had to pause on this because I had actually lent my mom my size 4 interchangeable needles, and I just had size 4 DPNs, so I could only get so far when I first cast on. But if I think I only knit on it for 3 days. Like they weren't consecutive, but like 3 knitting sessions, and I finished it. So it's a nice, quick, little easy project. I think it's a cute wardrobe accessory. It's perfect for spring. I'm excited because I kind of picked the colors based on the sample colors, but also to go with my new zero waste gather dress, and I think it'll be super cute. But those are the 2 finished objects I have for now for this episode. And then I have so many whips to talk about. I am trying to decide what order to do them in. Yeah, I don't know, I'll just grab. So I have a table right here that you can't see. But I'm going to start here with this. And I also wanted to talk about this. I bought these little plastic, like, organizational baskets at Michael's on sale. And I already had a set of these from somewhere else that I use to organize, like, stationery stuff. And I actually bought these with the intent of just doing more organizing. They're great. You know, I just think it's a practical thing to have in a studio space. You can put little things in there so they're not scattered all over. I actually used one that's right over there to put all my knitting needles in. But then I realized they're great to put a whip in, like a project that's not going to leave the house. And then you can just, you know, move it around whatever rooms in your house. Obviously, this would not be convenient to take. I mean, I guess you could take it in the car, but it's not like a bag that you could take. But I found that it's just so practical to have like a little basket. All the stuff can go in it. And it's open. And yeah, I mean, maybe that's a tip you guys like. I don't know. I sort of never thought to do that. Sometimes I'll put a project in a basket like this, but I didn't think to use these like ones for organizing. Anyway, the project in this basket is the Downstairs Socks by Mary Jane Mucklestone from Grand Shetland Adventure Knits. Every time I go to say that book title, I forget what it's called. I don't know why. I feel like I want to mix it up with her other book, Farewell Weekend. But Grand Shetland Adventure Knits is written in conjunction with Gudrun Johnston. It's full of great patterns. I can't wait to make more things out of there. But here is my sock. I have not finished even one. You'll see that's a theme. Like, I'm working on projects, so many at the same time, that they're all making progress, but kind of slowly. So here she is, though. And then the heel is super cute. And I just started the toe last night, like with decreases. So yeah, I have many things to say about this project. The first being that I was a little nervous about it because it's only ever 2 colors per row, but it's 4-color pattern. Or yeah, 4 colors. I can count, I promise. And you're switching colors like it's every 4 rows you switch which 2 colors you're using. And so I have I don't even know let's see if you can see. It's very sloppy probably, but you can see I'm just running, can you see that? I don't know. I'm just running the colors up the side. You could obviously cut them, break them every time if you wanted to. I felt that I was willing to deal with like the little teeny tiny holes that occur when you run the colors up the side, you know, keeping them twisted, all that stuff. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing with that. You knit just, you know, from here to here is just the regular chart that you follow. And it's very simple. There's no increases or anything. But then when you get to the heel flap, there's another chart. The pattern is so well written. I'm going to say that with so much enthusiasm. There are techniques in this that I think are a little difficult. Like, they definitely pushed my boundaries, but the instructions are so, so good that I think you won't be sad. Like, it's not, or it won't be too hard for you. But anyway, when you split to do your heel flap, you have to work color work back and forth. I've never done that. I was very nervous about it, that my tension would be weird or that I just would do a bad job. But it ended up being very easy. It's not for very long, so it's only this much, like between my fingers, is done. Oh, maybe is the heel too? I don't know. But it's not very much that you have to do that way. But it's enough that it's a little scary. But it went totally fine. Like I said, the instructions are just so good. And then the heel, the actual like heel part is, what do you call it? Like salt and pepper stitch. And the toe will be as well. So the heel is the blue and the white, and the toe will be the red and the yellow. And then for the foot, you know, there's a chart for everything, which I love. I personally find knitting from a chart easier than knitting from instructions in general. Obviously color work you pretty much have to, but there's a chart for everything. So there's like a chart for the leg, a chart for the heel flap, a chart for the gusset section, and then you use the leg chart for the foot as well. But it's super easy to follow. She suggests for the foot that you just finish the leg chart again. I had to do 4 more of the little like boxes, like the color boxes, to get it to be the right length for my foot. I wear between a women's 7 and 8 US. So that's like a Euro 38. That's helpful for you. I am finding, I think I have the book here. I think I cast on the smaller size and it is snug. I can get it over my heel, but it's tight. You choose your size based on your needle size. Patterns like that always confuse me so much, where I'm like, wait, where are the other sizes? But yeah, so it's based on needle size, and I am knitting these on a size US 1. And I'm pretty sure I even did the ribbing on a size 1. Like, I don't think I went down to a 0. I really should keep better notes, I'm realizing as I talk about this. But so it's the smallest size option, and I can get them on. And I didn't want the leg is always, you know, I feel like this is my eternal struggle, where either I can get it over my heel easier and the leg is loose, or the leg fits the way I want it to and I have trouble pulling it over my heel. So yeah, it's 72 stitches though, so if that is helpful. I feel like that was the most chaotic way to tell you guys about that. But anyway, I really highly recommend this pattern. I feel like it's very, very easy to follow, and you end up with this incredible, like, I just think these are so magnificent. Like, I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever made. I'm always so satisfied with Mary Jane's patterns. I really appreciate her writing style. So yeah, that's one whip. I guess I'll show you a sock, another sock next. This is kind of my, what do you call it, like in the car project, or if it's like nighttime and I don't want to think project. So it's pretty boring. I showed you this, it was in planning stages in the last episode, and that is the Lazy Friday socks by Kaori Katsurada, I think is her name. Her like handle, I think, is like KAO. But here is my little sock. You can see I haven't made that much progress. This project is making me realize how much I hate knitting ribbing, but I also really love this sock, and I want a ribbed pair of socks. I think they're so cute, but I don't really like doing it, I'm not gonna lie. In general, I'm kind of a product maker in general. Like, I have grown to like the process of knitting, but like I don't really like the process of sewing that much. I find it frustrating. But I like to have the things I make at the end. I would say spinning is one of the only things I really enjoy the process of. So yeah, my need to have these socks is making me push through my dislike of knitting ribbing. But they're coming along, they're cute. This little ruffle was really fun to make. You cast on like over 300 stitches and then just rapidly decrease, and it's just, I can't wait to wear them. I think they're so cute. I'm using my yarn minder for the first time on this project, and it's been fun. Like, sometimes at night I just like hang it on my lamp, and it is pretty convenient. But so there's not a lot to say about this project. So far I really like the pattern. It was easy to follow about the ruffle making. I've never made a ruffle. Yeah, so that's the Lazy Weekend sock set. And then, oh yeah, okay, what's next? Next project. As I'm going through this, I realized I guess I don't have that many projects. I guess because I finished, I finished the Isla Shawl, so that makes it feel like there's less, because there is less. But the next thing I have is the big one, and I realized this morning when I was going through writing my notes, like so that I remembered what I was working on, I looked back at my past couple videos just to see like where I was and how much I've mentioned or not mentioned. I mainly wanted to make sure that you hadn't seen this sea Tarra yet, the ocean sea themed one. But I also saw that this is my Burra cardigan, and I have made actually a lot of progress on this. It doesn't feel like it because it's kind of slow going. Everything is falling, but it is growing. And so I steamed this as well, so that, well, I steamed it a while ago so that it lays more flat. But I have finished one time of the colorwork chart, and so now I get to do it again. But here it is. And you can see over here are my little steeks, my steek stitches. And you can see too, I remember saying to you guys in the beginning, I don't want this to fall off, but I wanted to show it better, that I didn't understand why the stitches were the way they were, but it is definitely so that the front is mirrored. I don't know if you can see that so good. But now that I've gotten the hang of this and I'm just essentially knitting a colorwork tube, it's actually very easy, very relaxing to just memorize the repeats and kind of work on it. It takes a long time to go around it once. I think there's over 300 stitches on here, so it's slow, and I am making it on, I had to size down my needles, so this is, the main body is knit on a size US 2, which is very small. Yeah, and so it's just slow, but I think that it's gonna be so beautiful that I'm not gonna be disappointed. And I measured it because I feel like it looks a little bit big, but I compared it to my lower low. I held it like next to each other and they're exactly the same. And that sweater is big, but it's, you know, it's meant to be boxy, and I want this cardigan to be boxy as well. It's like a crop boxy kind of style. So I think it's gonna be good. I think I chose to do the right thing with the needle size, and you know, I guess swatching paid. We'll see. We'll see in a few months when I'm done if my swatching really paid off. I had talked about wanting to be done with this by the end of May, and I don't know about that. I do feel like if I knock out some of these other projects and then really try to focus in on this, that I could get close, but it really is taking a long time. And so I think I sort of have to just be okay with that. I definitely want this done for Rhinebeck. I want to wear it one of the days, so I have until October as like a very final deadline. It's a big project. And oh yeah, I meant to mention too, I'm doing this as part of, I think I said it in the first episode I talked about this, but as part of the bucket list KAL hosted by Mackenzie from M to the Third. I think technically this KAL is through her other podcast, Sibling Energy podcast, but I really like the premise of that KAL, which is to knit something that you've been dreaming of, or a technique that you've been dreaming of, but that you haven't quite worked up the courage to do yet. And this project is definitely that for me. It's all over colorwork garment. It's many colors. It's a cardigan. So it really ticks all the boxes for me. So I think that that goes through the whole year. I forgot to look up the dates before I started filming, but that's another KAL if you're interested in joining, or if you haven't seen Mackenzie's content. I love going on her channel, on the Sibling Energy channel, or sometimes lately she's been doing a live stream, I think once a week, and that's really fun to pop into sometimes. That is my final true whip, which, yeah, there's only 3. There's about to be 4. I think it's that I have so many things in my head that I want to start that it feels like there's more. Then my final project to show you, which is not much of a project because I haven't totally started yet. It's here. And it is the, I'll put up a picture instead of showing you this terrible black and white printout. Well, maybe I'll show it to you. There you go. It's the Audrey and Unst vest by Gudrun that just came out last week. And this has been in testing for a while now, and I like thought about joining the test, but I didn't have time to do that and like be done with it on time. So I've been patiently waiting for the pattern to come out, and it came out on Friday, and I'm so excited to get started. So I swatched. Here is my little swatch. Yes, it's going to be red. We have a theme always, right? Everything is red. So I'm using the yarn that was kindly gifted to me from Eva Christie of the Scottish Yarn Festival. And so that is here. I have actually 3 of these, but I think that 2 is going to be enough, hopefully. And then I will have a final skein to use for something else, or if I just need to pop a little bit of that into this. But my swatch is a little bit shy of 4 inches. And I don't know, it's I think a 1/4 inch, so it's like 2 stitches off. But this feels like someone who just doesn't want to re-swatch. I think it's gonna be okay because I had it blocked to 4 inches. It easily blocks to 4 inches, and it just, you know, I didn't leave it on the mat very long, so it shrunk back down a little bit. People are probably like screaming or like groaning to hear me say this, but I think I'm just gonna make the size I had planned to make. I'm a little afraid of it being too small, but you can see, like, when I stretch, I'll hold this up just so you can see it anyway, but when I stretch this, there is a lot. It's knit on size US 4 as the main body size needles. And so that's a pretty generous needle for fingering weight yarn. And it makes this beautiful, like you can just see. And this yarn is so incredible. I feel so blessed that Eva sent this to me. It's just like such a joy to work with. I so highly recommend this yarn. You can purchase it in the United States through the Woolly Thistle. I'll make sure everything is linked down below. You can use my affiliate link if you want. I'll earn a little bit from that. But it is so soft. It's like the softest, but it's still rustic and fuzzy and just Scottish goodness. I just feel so lucky that I get to try this out, and it's red, and I'm so excited to have a red vest. I think it's gonna be a really practical addition to my wardrobe. And I'm excited to do this project. It has, if you haven't seen it yet, it has like lace work here on the neck, and this is actually a reworked pattern that Gudrun Johnston did of her cardigan, Audrey Nunn's cardigan, and so then it was reworked into a vest. And there's all different options you can follow. I think there's ribbed edging, I-cord edging, there's a curved hem or a straight hem. I think that I am going to do the curved hem ribbed edging version. Sorry, it was hard to make sure I was saying that the way that I wanted to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Her sizing is really good. There's only 2 inches between each bust size. And so I'm really struggling to decide which one to make, especially now that my gauge swatch is a little small. So there's a 42.5 inch finished bust, and there's a 44.5 inch finished bust. And my like body measurements are 42. And so the smaller size would give me like almost 0 ease, which I think would be cute. And then, or the bigger one would give me just like 2 inches of ease. I just don't want it to come out big. I want it to be, like I was saying about the burra, I want the burra to be boxy. I don't want this vest to be boxy. I want it to be fitted so that I can wear it over dresses and stuff. I'm still deciding. I haven't cast on yet, so I have a little bit of time to choose. But I'm so pleased with how this, the fabric for this swatch has turned out. So I don't know, maybe it's good for me to talk through my projects because I feel like I don't have as many things going as I thought. I did also, I'll just mention a couple things that are on the horizon. Who knows when. One is definitely the cloud bow dress. I've talked about this about 6 million times, and I'm almost ready to cast that on. So that's something that's coming soon. I'm debating, I might be making an episode about knitting plans, but I'll just quickly list some patterns here that are on the like soon to be done agenda. And then if we want to talk about them more in depth, I can make another video. Another is definitely the 3rd Tarra shawl. Another thing is I did buy yarn for the Peary Shop cardigan, also by Mary Jane Mucklestone from Grand Shetland Adventure Knits. I was placing an order with the Woolly Thistle anyway, and so I decided to throw enough plates of Plotalopi to be the body of a sweater. I have so much Plotalopi left over from last year from all my different Icelandic knitting projects that I will probably use scraps as the color work portion for that, but I needed body color. I want to finish my second Rad Radish sock. Those things, like the cloud bow dress and the Rad Radish socks, feel so springy to me, or summery, and so I like the idea of working on those for that. Yeah, so there's just a lot of things. I feel like my brain is full of ideas. I said that the last time and nothing has changed. I think that's pretty much everything I have to say knitting related. I have, I guess now we'll just go into non-knitting recommendations like books, TV, music, that kind of stuff. I haven't been reading very much, but I did manage to finish a book. So I finished Thistlefoot by GennaRose Nethercott. Please tell me that's how you say your name. I wrote it down. Yes. And I loved that book. I thought it was great. I thought that it was very moving, but also beautifully fantastical. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that I read, of course, some Goodreads reviews, and some people did not like her style of writing. They felt that it was too like flowery or descriptive, and I get that. That's my jam though. I absolutely love really evocative writing, so I really enjoyed it. I will say, like, I don't want to say trigger warning, but maybe a little bit. It does talk a lot about like generational wounds, and you know, there is violence in it, so you know, proceed with caution. Decide what makes you feel comfortable or not comfortable. I definitely am more inclined to, I feel like I don't shy away from difficult topics, so you'll see a lot of times in the things I read that they handle like some pretty intense stuff, but I also understand that that's sometimes just too much. Even for me, sometimes I need a break to read something fun. I'm still working through The Devil in Silver by Victor LaValle. I'm liking it. I don't love it as much as Big Machine. I don't know if anything will ever top that book for me, but it is very good, and it's different, and it's interesting to see another side of his writing. What else am I working on? I'm still working on the first Shetland sailing mystery by Marsali Taylor. That I haven't picked up in months now, so maybe that will be next. I'm always reading like something intense and something fluffy at the same time, so that's kind of my more fluffy read. It's still a murder mystery. I don't know. maybe I always feel like I'm too serious, and so maybe that shows the most in my reading. Yeah, I don't really know what else I have on the agenda reading wise. I do have quite a few like books that I've purchased. Oh yeah, also I don't have Thistlefoot to show you because I read it on the Kindle, but you can find it. I'll make sure that the name is written below so you can look it up. For music, I don't know if I have a ton of music. The one thing I will say is that I heard a MJ Lenderman song on the radio, and I knew his name because he was like featured on a Waxahachie song from her most recent album. And then I heard a song on the radio that I really liked, and it was his song. And then, so I've been listening to more of his music, and I've been really enjoying it. I know that this week, the music video for his song Wristwatch just came out. So if you're into that kind of like, I don't know, indie rock, Americana influenced music, you might enjoy that. What else? I feel like I'm late to the party on this one, and it's rare that I'm gonna have TV recs for you, but I just finished watching The Detectorists, and I have fallen so deeply in love with that show. I feel like it's popular, like other people like it, and I had heard about it probably honestly when it came out, which is now 10 years ago. It makes me feel very old. It's taken me that long to finally watch it, but it really, I guess I went into it not necessarily knowing how it was going to be. I didn't realize, I think, that it was a comedy. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't absorb information very well, but I just think it was the sweetest show, and I love the way that it's sort of, it feels so much about life and real life and the human experience, and the way that sometimes the things on the surface are not actually the thing that you need to be paying attention to, which I think is like a metaphor because they're like looking under the earth, but you know that the deep moments and the intense moments in life are often in the subtext or the things unsaid or the things under the surface. And I feel that like that show does a beautiful job of really showing that, and you know, through lightness and humor and comedy, but also, you know, there are these moments that are really sweet and special and, you know, show human connection and the way different people interact with each other. So yeah, I recommend that. I think it's sweet. And also it's on, I just found it on YouTube, so you can watch it for free. Yeah, so I think that that's pretty much everything I have. I feel like I forgot something. I feel like I forgot a project. I'm still doing lots of spinning. I'm spinning on my, the wool we dyed together a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, I'm hoping to cast on my Moomin socks once I finish one pair of these socks. So I guess the final thing to talk about is kind of next week and what the plans are for next week. As time goes on, I'm realizing that it's very difficult for me to pump out a video every week. The nature of the things that we do, the crafts that we do, are slow. And so it can be hard for me to have a video every week. I'm really trying to decide if I would rather switch to an every other week schedule or try to do every week, but then like this week, sometimes it's late or maybe it doesn't happen. I don't know. I don't know if it's better to just be more consistent. Like, I don't know what you guys would prefer. If I'm more consistent and it's just every other week, or like it's most weeks and maybe I miss a week now and then, or I don't know. I'm really still, you know, it's been a year now of, this is like the 1 year anniversary episode, and I'm trying to find the balance, I guess. And I will say that in the last 6 to 8 months, we have had more like animal health problems, I think, than I've ever had in my whole lifetime of having animals or pets. And so I think that that has made it harder for me to be consistent because when they get sick, it just throws me off. That's why this week's video is late. Yesterday, one of our goats came down with, he's not doing very well. I think that I really am hoping he's going to be okay. I think, or the vet was out yesterday. I was hoping to film yesterday, but the vet was out, so I didn't have time. And they feel, again, that he just has too much internal parasite load, so we're still dealing with that problem in our herd of goats. I'm really hoping that he will recover, that we caught it soon enough. He's very weak, and I feel so terrible that we didn't notice, especially after we just had it with his brother, but, you know, things just happen. And so I'm hoping that we won't keep having these issues. Yeah, we've, in all the time of having, my whole lifetime of having pets, but then also just in the last 5 years of us having larger animals, we've never had such a a run of everybody being sick. You know, like 2 of the cats were, Nif was sick, Ramses was sick. I really think the cats are on the mend. We have figured out a system that works. It was crazy. And then now we've had just a run of different goat ailments. But I'm hoping, really hoping that with the spring coming and it being warmer and easier on their bodies, and we can get everybody into good shape, and then hopefully that will slow down, which will also help for me to be a little more present, because when they're sick, it's just, I can't stop thinking about it. I worry about them so, so much. So yeah, that's kind of that piece on that, but I'm hoping that will change, and maybe I will be more like, I won't feel as stressed about making videos, and I'll be more interested in doing it more frequently. But yeah, so talking about next week, I think that there will be a main feed video, and I can't decide, should it be like spring knitting plans or kind of just a video reflecting on 1 year of YouTube? Would you guys be interested in hearing about that? I don't know, maybe that's kind of dull. Either way, it'll be like a spring knitting plans, or it will be kind of more cozy knit and chat. I'm leaning more towards doing a knitting plans video for the main feed, and then I'm really hoping next Friday, so the 18th, I think it is. Yes, tomorrow's the 11th, so next Friday is the 18th, and I'm hoping to do a live stream. And so maybe the live stream could just be like a cozy knit and chat of, yeah, like sort of reflecting on a year and the community and everything that we've built together. Don't know if you guys would like that. I think I'm going to put a poll in like community feed posts. So if you're seeing this, go have a look for that. And I'll put a poll in there of times, because I know that we're a very international group. And so I don't want to do it too late in the day and then have it so that those of you in Europe or the UK can't come, because it'll be like in the middle of the night. But I also don't want to make it too early in the day, and then my fellow US people will be at work. So we have to try and find a time that works best for everybody. And so if you would like to attend the live stream, make sure you go check out that poll and tell me which time is best for you. I have done nothing to figure out the tech for streaming, so maybe I will come on and it will not work well. So be prepared for that. If you like come to the stream time, I'll make sure to announce it. And it like I'm not there, it's just because the tech failed. So that's just your fair warning. But yeah, happy 1 year. I can't believe that I've been doing this now for a year. It seems so crazy. I feel like I've learned a lot along the way. I also feel like I've learned nothing. The tech part is still terrifying all the time. I'm not the most, that's not true. I don't mind, like, you know, I love photography. I love using equipment and stuff, but so much has changed in the tech field since I was, you know, in school, or it's grown so much, and it's a lot to learn and like keep learning because it's changing constantly. So that's where I feel like my loophole is a little bit on that. But anyway, I'm so happy that any of you choose to join me. For those of you who were here from the very beginning, I see your names, and I'm so grateful for all of your contributions. If it's, you know, whether you sent me things or donated to the Ko-Fi or bought me a pattern, or even if you just leave me comments all the time, I'm so grateful. You being here makes this so much more worth it to me than I ever could have imagined. I love hearing your feedback and chatting and all those sorts of things. But I think that's it. I think that's really it now. I've come to the end of my ramble. So if you did enjoy this video, this is pretty much the main bread and butter of my channel, is making knitting content. So if you liked this, you will like what is to come, and you could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe if you did, you know, want to see more of this, because I'll be pumping it out in some form or another. If you're looking for me other places, I am on Instagram, Ravelry, Goodreads, Bluesky, Flashes. I'm still trying to figure that one out a little bit, but everything will be linked below. Same for if you're looking for patterns or where I got things or what colors things are, all that kind of stuff. It's all going to be linked in the description. I guess, as always, if you'd like to leave a comment, I really love to read them. And maybe you've made some of these projects, or is anybody else in the is it Isla Shawl, KAL? Or have any of you made that? I've seen some of you, I think, that watch me on Instagram. I've seen some of your projects. I love seeing all the color choices. I feel like I always just kind of go with something close to the sample colors when I make something. So I love seeing other people's creative color choices. Let me know what you're knitting on. I love to hear about your knitting projects. And we will speak soon. I hope you have a great week. Bye.